Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to learn Python from absolute beginner to advanced level, all in one complete tutorial. An important question before we start, for whom is this video for? If you are someone who has learned Java, C++ like languages, or you are someone who does not have any prior knowledge and learning programming for the first time, this video will give you a strong and clear foundation. Most people fail to learn Python because they started the wrong way. In the next few hours, I'll teach you Python from zero to a level where you can build real projects, even if you have never coded before. Python is a high-level interpreted programming language known for its simple syntax and powerful features. Because of this, Python is easy for beginners and extremely useful for professionals. Python is widely used in automation and scripting, web applications, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. Before we start, like the video if you're serious about learning Python. Let's start coding. So, we'll start with the very basic that is printing hello world. So, we'll write print and then parentheses. Parentheses are these round brackets, and inside this we'll put double quotes to make it a string. I'll explain you one by one what is a string and what is integer and like this. Inside this we'll write hello world. Let us press this run button and you can see hello world is printed. Python is a case sensitive language, so therefore we need to write this in small letters. If we say I have written this P in capital, then you can see when we'll run it, it shows error. And if you see this error carefully, it's written that name with P capital print is not defined, and it itself says that did you mean print. So if you read the error carefully, you'll get to know what is the error in your program. So this is print hello world. Now let us see if we want to print 10. So we can write this 10, and when we'll run it, you can see 10 is printed. If we want to print the sum of two numbers, what we can do is we can write print, then in parentheses we can write, for example, 10 plus 20. If we press this, you can see 10 plus 20, which is 30, is printed. If we want to print multiple values, like we want the sum is 30, like this, it should be printed. So here we'll put double quotes, we'll write sum is, and then we'll just put a comma. So you can see in double quotes we have written the thing that is to be printed as it is, which is sum is, and then I have put a comma and then you can see 10 plus 20. Running this we get sum is 30. Now the next thing is variables. Variables are used to store data in memory. So let us see if we say x is 10. So that means whenever we'll use x in the program, for example, if we say to print x, print parentheses and then small x, if we run this, you can see we got 10. That means the value 10 has been stored in this variable x. If we say to print capital X, then you can see print capital X is not defined. This is because Python is a case sensitive language, so if we the whatever the case of the variable, that is it, if it's lowercase then we have to print in the lowercase only. If it's uppercase we have taken the variable, then here it should be the same. So you can see now it has printed correctly. Let us see other examples. If we say name is ls, then this name, the variable, has got this value of ls. Next, if we just say something like is active is equals to true, then this is active as a variable and it got the value true. So Python is dynamically typed, so you do not need to mention data types explicitly. Now, what are data types? So like we have given here 10 value to x. Here 10 is an integer. That is, it contains all the numbers of negative and positive from the 1 to infinite, including its negative with 0. And if we talk about this name, this is a string because we have given the text inside double quotes. These double quotes decide that the text written inside these double quotes are a string. If talking about this true, so true, or if we write here false like this, these have boolean values. And if we, let's say, take one more, like b is equal to 3.5, then this 3.5 is float, that is decimal value. And this value has been assigned to the variable b. One thing that is to be noted, that variable name cannot start with a name, or cannot start with a number. For example, if we say it to be like this, let us comment this 1b. So you can see error is coming because the variable's name cannot start with a number. If we want to print its type, then you can just write here print as we are writing above. Inside this, as we have to see what is the type of the variable, that is whether it's float, it's integer, it's a string or a boolean. So we need to write here type. And inside this, we need to write the variable name, that is p. If you run this, you can see it's class float. That means that it's a float value. Now what I have done here to this text that it's displaying in green is comment. So to comment it, we can just put a hash. So like you can see here, putting a hash, it got commented. That is, it is not read by the program. It's just for the user. Sorry, it's just for the programmer. Okay, so just now you learned to display any message which is output in terms of computer programming. Now we will learn to get input from the user. For example, if we want to take input of the name, then we can name the variable as name. Then we will put a equal to, and then after this input like this, we'll put parentheses and in double quotes we will type the prompt. As you can see here also in this, it's written object is equal to and double quotes like this. So here we'll write enter your name. The prompt written inside this double quotes, that is this one, is visible to the user. And we take input from the user and that input is stored in this variable named as name. So let us run this and see. So it's asking enter your name. So let us say Eliza. Then if we print enter, you can see the program got ended because we haven't printed anything yet. So here we can print name, and before this we can also print your name is. So we'll put double quotes, then we'll write your name is, and then we'll put a comma. We can give a space here. Now if we run this, so let us give name as Daniel, and you can see it said your name is Daniel. Now you can see there are two spaces here. Why? Because one you have given here and this is a comma, that is a separator, and that's why there's one more space. So if we remove this space here and then we run this, we write the same name here, then you can see there is only one space. If we want a full stop to be printed after Daniel, then we can simply put a comma, then double quotes again, and inside this double quotes we can put a full stop. Run this and like this, so you can see your name is Daniel, You can see a space here. Next, let us take the age as input. So I'll write age as a variable name, or let us name it my age this time. So we have given it the name my age. We can also give it age, or we can give any valid variable name. Then we'll write input like we have written above. Inside this will be the prompt, so enter your age, and we will print this here. Your age is age. Oh no, the variable name is my age. But when we'll take the input here of age, it should be integer. But here it will be a string because by default it takes the input as a string. So to make it an integer, what can we do is we can write here int, int, like this. If we want it to be float, we can write here float. Now let us run this. So it's asking for name, so let us write Daniel, and your age, let us say 30, and you can see it showed your age is 30. Now if you want to print the type of this age, then we can write here print, then type and my age. We can also print here print type name. So let us run this. Name is 30 and it said your name is Daniel and it's of class string, that is it's string. If we enter the age, for example 20, then it said your age is 20 and it is an integer. If we want this, that the input is taken only at once, like first name is ours, then age, and then this all is printed, then what we can do is we can simply just cut it from here, can paste this. So you can see first we are taking the input and then we are printing it. If we run this, so name Daniel, age 20, and then you can see your name is Daniel and then it printed this string and then age is 20 and then it's type. So next thing that we have to learn is operators. So first let us talk about the arithmetic operators. So if we say that we can take a variable s, that is sum, which is equal to 10 plus 20. And we want this sum is to be printed. So we'll just write here print s. So you can see 30 is printed. And a short method to write, as we already saw above, is to just write print and in parentheses we can write 10 plus 20 like this. From this we can see 30 is printed here. Now if you want to subtract, then we can write here 10 minus 20. If we want to multiply, then 10 multiplied by 20. Likewise, you can see it for division as well. Let us run this. You can see we got 30 twice because this is also printed and this is also printed. Then it's minus 10, 200 and 0.5. These are the arithmetic operators. And if we want to block comment this, what can we do is we can simply put here single quotes and then at the last. So this is a block comment. Next, we can see arithmetic, oh, sorry, comparison operators. So in comparison operators, what can we do is either we can take a variable like we have written here, then assign a value to it and then print it, or we can directly print. So let us print directly 10 is greater than 5. So printing 10 greater than 5 gives us a boolean value which is true. If we say it to print 5 is greater than 10, then it gives false because 5 is not greater than 10. So writing this directly gives us a boolean value. Let us try more operators. Like if we want to check the equality of two numbers, what can we do is we can simply put 2 equal to sign like this. And the next is not equal to. So for that, 10 is not equal to, that is exclamation equal to 5. So this is for checking the equality. And the next one is not equal to. This exclamation equal to. So if we run this, you can see 10 greater than 5 it's true, 5 greater than 10 is false, then 10 is not equal to 5, so this value is false. 10 is not equal to 5 and we have written the same. That's why this value is true. Let us comment this. Next, let's see the logical operators. So logical operators is like if we print true and false. Let's print this. So true and false is false. If we print true or true, then it will give us true like this. And let us see not. If we say not true, then it will give us false. So basically this returns a boolean value. In AND operator, both of the operands should be true, then only it will give a true value. Otherwise, if any one or both are false, then it will give a false. In OR, one of them should be true or both of them should be true, then it will give a true value. If one of the operand is false, then it depends like if one is true and another is false, then it will give true. If both are false, then it will give false. And not just changes it, like if it's true, then it will be false. If it's false, then it will give a true value. Next, let us see the if-else statements. So in if-else, let us see the very first example. So let us take age as 20 and we need to see if the age is greater than 18, then it should print that you are an adult. So for that, we'll write if, then the variable name which is age, and then put the condition if it's greater than or equal to 80. So greater than means this and equal to means like this. So it checks whether it's greater than or equal to 18. And then we'll put a colon. And if we press enter, you can see it itself gave 4 spaces or a tab because Python we need to take care of the indentation and the spaces we give. So like we have written the above program, all was in the same line. But this after if the next statement will have a 4 spaces gap. So in this we'll write the message like if the condition is true, if age is greater than 18. We set the age as 20, so 20 is greater than 18. So the message that should be printed is print you are an adult. Let us run this. So it printed this message. If we say the age is 17 and then we run this, you can see we did not get any message. So a message should be there whether or not this condition is satisfied, right? So for that we have another that is else. So we'll write else, then a colon, and then we'll press enter, and you can see itself we got a 4 spaces gap again. Then else you are not an adult. If we run this, you can see now we got the message you are not an adult. Let us try other examples. Let us make a odd even checker. To check whether a number is odd or even, we should divide it by 2. If it's divisible by 2, then it will be even. If it's not, then it will be odd. But how will check if it is divisible by 2 or not? So we can see the remainder, like if we have a number x and then we have to see if it's divisible by 2 or not. We can see what's the remainder when it is divided by 2. So for this, we have this modulo operator x divided by 2 like this. That means that x remainder 2. And if you want to check whether it's equal to 0 or not, we already read about this comparison operator checking the equality. So we can put 2 equal to 0 like this. So this means that the remainder when x is divided by 2 is 0. Now let us write a program. So let us say our number is 7. We can even take the input from the user as we have already learned how to take the input. Then the next thing is we need to put that condition. So that condition is to be put in if and else. So first we'll see if the number when divided by 2 gives us the remainder 0, and then a colon. It has to print that it is a even number. And if it does not satisfy this condition, like in this case as well, it's 7, 7 is not divisible by 2, then what should happen? So for that, we have to put else. That if it's not divisible by 2, that is if the remainder when divisible, when it's divided by 2 is not 0, then it will come to this else and whatever written in it will be executed. That is, it will print odd number. Just run this and you can see odd number is printed. Now let us see some other example. For example, if we have to check the grade according to the marks of a student. Let us say marks is 85, and if the marks is greater than equal to 90, the grade will be A. If it's greater than equal to 75, grade will be B, and if it's greater than equal to 50, then grade will be C. And if it's not greater than 50, then the student will fail. Like we have here 4 different conditions. And accordingly, we have to frame of code so that the correct grade is printed. So first, let's start one by one. First, we will see, we'll take the variable marks like we have taken here. So same variable will be written here if marks. So first condition was if it's greater than equal to 90. So we'll go one by one. If it's greater than equal to 90, then a colon. It will print grade A. The next condition to put that we have elif. That simply means else if. Elif will we can give another condition to this elif. Other condition was marks greater than equal to 75. Again we have to put a colon here and then again 4 spaces there. Then we will write print grade B. Now we want one more condition that if it's greater than equal to 50, then it print grade C. For that, what we'll do? We can put another elif. We can put as many elif as we want. So here we'll see write marks is greater than equal to 50. So this means that if marks is 85, it will first go to this condition. If marks is greater than equal to 90, so it will return false. No, it's not greater than 90. So it will go to second elif and it will ask what's your condition. it will say marks is greater than equal to 75, and it will return true because 85 is greater than 75. So it will go inside this and it will execute the program print grade B. So like this, grade B is printed. Now let's continue. So if marks is greater than equal to 50, then we should print grade C. And the last one is if none of the above conditions is satisfied, then the student is failed. For that, we'll write else print fail. Now you might wonder, like we have written here grade C and 85 satisfies this condition as well as this condition. So both will be printed or only grade B will be printed. So let us run this and then we'll see. So we can see only grade B is printed. That is because, as I told you, it will first go to this condition and then it will go to this condition. It will go like this as an until any one of the condition is satisfied. For example, 85 is greater than equal to 75. So this condition is totally satisfied and that's why it will not go further. It will just execute the program written in elif. And that's why only grade B is printed, grade C or fail like these, nothing else is printed. Let us change this and see if it's 50. Then grade C should be printed and we got the correct one. If it's 30, then the student got failed. Now let us comment this and let us see. Exercise question was just to make a simple login validation using if and else condition. My suggestion is to stop the video right now and just try this question yourself and then you can see the answer I tell you. I hope you have tried. Now let us see. So we're asking here to make a simple login validation. For this, what we can do is first we can take the input of username and password from the user. So let us say username is, and that is a string should be inputted. So we'll write here username is equals to input and then parentheses double quotes. Inside this we'll ask for username and then we'll ask for password. So we can name the variable like this and then we'll take input from the password. And let us say the username and the password we have set is username be admin and password be 1, 2, 3 and 4. I mean 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So we'll check if username is entered by the user. So if this is equal to the username we set, so let us say admin like I told you, and we'll check one another condition if password is also correct. So we'll put here and password. This is also correct. So correct, we'll just write the correct password here. Then we'll put a colon. Then we'll print login successful. We'll put else. Like if either of the username or password is incorrect or both are incorrect, then it will go to else. And in else we'll print invalid credentials. So if you run this, it asks for username, it's admin, password, let us say 123. Then it said invalid credential because our password is 1234. Now let us run this again and let us type the correct password. Then you can see it said login successful. Many times we need to repeat the same programming steps. For this, loop has been provided in Python. So next we'll learn to use loops. First, we'll be learning for loop. So for loop, let us make a program to print first four numbers. That is or we can say first five numbers including 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, like this. So for that, we'll first write for because we're starting the for loop. Then we can take any variable, let us say I. Then we'll give the range to this variable, like this I should go from which number to which number. So we'll write in range, and inside this we'll give the range. So let us give 5. I'll explain you why I have written like that. Then we will print this. So here we're writing for I in range 5. That is, I is from 0 to 5. So by default, 0 is here. So this means that 0 to 5 is the range. And what is meant by 0 to 5? It means that it is 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. This 5 is excluded and 0 is included. That is the first number, that is starting number is included and the last number is excluded. So I will have the range, that is it will have the value 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 one by one. So first we'll write like this, and then I will have value 0, then it will print 0. Then again it will go here to the for loop, then it will say I is 1. Then it will print 1. And like this 2 will be printed, 3 will be printed, and 4 will be printed. So let us run this. You can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 is printed. For example, if you want this to be printed from 1 to 4, then we can simply give the starting value here by writing 1, comma 5. Like this, we have set it to be 1 to 5 with 1 included, so it will be 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like the previous example, this 5 is excluded. So when we run this, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 as the value. If we set this as 10, then it will be from 1 to 9, and 9 is included, or we can write here 1 to 10, 10 excluded. So you can see this 1 to 9 is printed. If we want to give the difference, for example, let us set an range. So let us say we want to print all the even numbers from 2 to 11. So first we'll write 2 to 11 because the even number should be between 2 and 11. Then we'll put a comma here and the difference between both the range, that if you want to print even numbers, then the difference should be 2, because like if we say 2, 4, 6, 8, these are the even numbers, then difference between two even numbers is 2. That's why we write here 2. That means that 2 is included, 11 is excluded, and between 2 to 11 with a difference of 2, the integers will be printed. Run this. You can see we got even numbers between 2 and 10. If we see this, I will be 2 first, then 2 will be printed. Then with the difference of 2, that means that we'll add 2 here, we get 4. So 4 is printed here as you can see this. Then again it will go to this loop, then it will say with a difference of 2. So this was 4 and 2 will be added here, so it 6, and 6 is printed here. Like this, all the numbers will be printed. Now the next example is if you want every character of a particular word to be printed. So we can again use this for loop for, we can say char for character, or we can give any variable name to it for char, and let us say Python. So this means that for every letter in this Python, we need to print char. Now you can see this C is capital and this C is small, and that's why it's given an error. So it should be the same like this. When we run this, you can see we got every letter of the word Python. This is because for char in Python means first char will be P and then it will be printed, then it will be Y, then it will be printed and like this, so on. Next, let's come to while loop. So let us say we want to print the counting numbers from 1 to 5 like we were doing in for loop. So if we want it from 1 to 5, first we have to make a variable here. In for loop, we just define the range of this I, but here we have to make that variable. So let us say I is 1 here. Then we'll start the while loop. We'll write while. Then we'll write the name of the variable, which is I, and the condition. So let us say it is smaller than equal to 5. Then we'll put colon, and you can see the next line will be with the gap of 4 spaces, and then we can print this I. If we run this, what we'll get is, you can see this program is running so on again and again, so on till infinite times. This is because we haven't incremented this I. Let me write and then I explain. So this is I is equal to I plus 1. This means that what we have written is while I is less than equal to 5. This means that this is the condition to stop the while loop. If I will not be greater than 5, then this loop will go again and again. This is that it will just continue that I is less than equal to 5, then it will print I. When I will be greater than 5, then this it will not execute the further program inside this while loop. So when I is equal to 1 and we haven't written this, what happened was I is 1, so it is less than 5, and so it was printing again and again, again and again. But we want to print from 1 to 3 like this till 5, and that's why we need to increase the value of 5 by 1. So with this way, we'll got 1 to 5. Now, if you want it to be 1 to 4, you can just write I is less than 5. And here you can see we got from 1 to 4. Next, let us take another example. If we take the password example again, and we want the user to input the password till the time it's correct. So first we have to make a variable, because before starting this while loop we should have one variable. The time we were making this, we had I as a variable, and it should had an integer value, so we give I equals to 1. But now it's a password, so it will be a string. And that's why what we can do is we can simply put double quotes like this. This means an empty string, that is, nothing is written inside it. So we have named one variable password like this. Now I'll use the while loop while password is not equal to, and let us set what password 1 2 3 and 4. And here inside this, we'll write the condition. What should happen when password is not equal to this, that is password is not correct, then should take the input. So password is equal to input, enter password. So let us run this. You can see it's asking for password. Let us say 1 P 1 2 1 2 3 3 4. So you can see we were writing the incorrect password. That's why it was asking it again and again, because we set the condition when, as and when the password is not correct, that is it is not equal to 1 2 3 4, then it will ask the user to enter the password. Now when we got the correct password, it just exit the loop, and that's why this code is not executed and nothing was written after that, and so we got exit from the program. Now, when the password is correct, we should print something. So we can print here, print access granted. So if you run this, says to enter password 1121232 anything. So you can see it's going again and again. If we say 1234, then it printed access granted. So let us see one example, that is to sum using while loop, print sum of numbers using the while loop. Okay, so we can see here like this sum 15, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. Okay, so this means that first we'll have to comment this sum of numbers. We have to make one variable like num is equal to 1. Then we want to sum the numbers, so we have to somewhere store the sum of the numbers. So we have to take total as 0. Now let us understand this. So first we'll make the while loop. So while num is greater than equal to 5, let's say, because in that the example we can see it's still 5. So let us say num is less than equal to 5. What we have to do is we have to just add the number in num. What we are doing here is as like first num is 1. We have to increase the value of num. So here num is 1 first, then total will be total plus num. Total is 0, so 0 plus 1 is 1. So let us write here total is 1 and here num is also 1. So that's why total is 0 plus 1, which is 1. And num is num plus 1, that means now we got to this loop again 2. And 2 is less than equal to 5, so we'll go ahead. Total is equals to total plus num. So total is 1 and here we'll add 2 because plus num. So this will be 3. So total is now 3. Num will be num plus 1. So now num is 3 and it is less than equal to 5. So we'll go ahead. Now it will be 3 plus 3, which is 6. So like this, it will go again and again and we will get the sum of all the numbers till 5. But we have to print the sum as well. So at the last, we'll print total. Now, some of you might think, why are we printing here without any gap of 4 spaces and not like this? So if we print it like this, let us see what happens. So you can see 1, 3, 6, 10, 15. Many numbers are printed and not just 15, which was the required answer. Is because it's inside the while loop, so as and when whatever the value of total will be, it will get printed. Just put it outside the while loop, then it will be printed as and when this while loop is completed, not every time. Just run this and see. You can see only 15 is printed here. So that's the difference. Next thing is break and continue. So let us make some another example. What break does is it exits the loop completely. So if you want for, to make some, so let us say for I in range 10, that is I is from 0 to 9, right? Because 10 is excluded. If we want the program to exit when I is 5, then what we can do is can write the if condition here, if I. So we want to check if it's equal to 5 or not. So when it is equal to 5, we have to break the program. That means equal to 5 like this colon, and we have to break the program. So we'll just write break. That is it will exit the loop. And next we can see it to print I. So we can run this. You can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So when I is 0, this condition is not true, and so it does not break the program. Instead, it just printed I. Like this it went, and when I is 5, then this condition is right, so we got out of the loop because this break is there. Instead of break, if I write continue here, then what happens? Let us see. Mm, so you can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is missing. Rest all from 0 to 9 is printed. So continue means that if this condition is true, it will not print I. Instead, it will just say continue. The continue means it will go to the loop again. So it will not see the further conditions written. Instead, it just go back to the loop. And that's why 5 is not printed and all the numbers between 1 and 9 are printed. Now let us write some other example. So if you want the loop to be repeated again and again, then what can we do is we can just write true. True means the condition is always true, and so while loop will go again and again. Now let us take input here. So now let us take input in integer. So if you remember, it's int like this. Inside this we need to write input parenthesis, and inside this the prompt, like you can just write enter. And we want the program to break if the number is equal to 0. So we'll write if num is 0, then break. Let us run this. It's asking for a number, let us 3, 4, like this. Can print. So you can see it's going again and again. When we type 0, then we got out of the program. So this is the use of break. If we see one more example of continue, like let us say that I is in the range any random like 1 to 11, and if I is divisible by 2, then we need to continue, and if it's odd, then we need to print the odd numbers. So to see if it's even, you can just see the remainder if it's equal to 2, or remainder if it's 0 when divided by 2, then we can write continue. That means that if it's even, it will just see this continue and go to the loop again. And here we can write print I. So run this. You can see we got all the odd numbers. That means when it is an even number, it satisfied this condition, and for this continue, it went back to the for loop, and it did not go to this condition. When it is false, then it returned it's false. So it will not go through this continue. Instead, it will go further and print I. Let us see this. So this exercise is to print numbers from 1 to 20, skip multiples of 3, and stop when the number reaches 15. Okay, so as we can see, it's written to print numbers from 1 to 20. That means the range will be from 1 to 21 of the loop. Says to skip multiples of 3. That means we have to check the remainder when the number is divided by 3. The remainder, if equal to 0, we have to skip this. So we saw to skip this, we have continue. The next is and stop when the number reaches 15. Okay, so if the number reaches 15, I have to stop. That means you have to break from the program. Okay, so let us write this for I in range. And what was the range is from 1 to 20. So that means you have to take it from 1 to 21. And then a colon sign. Here we'll see if I, so it's set to stop when 15. So if I is 15, we'll break the program. And we need to check if it's divisible by 3 or not. So if it's divisible by 3, continue, else we will print I. So we have to take care where we have to write print I, whether it's here or not here. So here print I does not make any sense because continuous written above, so it will go to the for loop. If we write this here, this I will be printed after this for loop has been completed. So basically it means that some number is printed that is before breaking the program. So you can even see if you run this, you can see 15 is printed because at last value of I was 15 when we break the program. So we'll just keep it here. This means that if I will be 15, it will break the program. If I is divisible by 3, then it will go to this again. Otherwise, it will print I. So if we run this, you can see we got these numbers which are not divisible by 3. And when the value was 15, the program got break. So next thing we'll talk about are data structures. Data structure is a way of organizing and storing data in a computer so that we can access it or use it efficiently. The very first that we will be discussing today is list. So lists are used to store multiple values in one variable. They're ordered and mutable. So first let us write one list, like numbers is the name of a list, and then we'll put square brackets, and then inside it we can write like 10, 20, 30 with comma in between. So lists are ordered. Each item has an index, and that means that like this has an index of 0, and the next element has an index of 1, 2, and so on like this. So here index starts from 0 and then moves forward like 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. If you want to print like the element at 0th index, then what we'll do is write print. Then in these parentheses, we'll write the name of a list, which is numbers. Then we'll put square brackets, and inside this square bracket, we'll put the index, like say 0, because we want to the 0th element to be printed. And you can see it's 10. For example, let's say 2. And if we run this, you can see we got 30. If we say 3, then you can see we got list index out of range because there is no such element with index 3. We have the length of the list. Length means the number of elements present in the list as 3. Length is 3 and the index is 0, 1, 2. There is no element at third index, and that's why it gives such an error. I said that lists are mutable. So what does mutable mean? Mutable means that we can change, add, or remove items. Like if we write the name of the list and then in square bracket 1, that is we are referring to the element with the first index. With element index 1 is 20 in this list. Now if we want to change this to 50, and we'll also print the list. So for printing the list, we'll just have to write the name of the list inside print and parentheses. So you can see we got 10, 50, and 30. Just remember while printing this list, not put in double quotes, otherwise it will print numbers instead of the list. Like if we just put double quotes here and then if we run this, you can see we got numbers and not the list. So it shouldn't be a string, it shouldn't be written in the double quotes. Okay, so next thing I said that we can even add elements. So add elements means like if we write the name of the list like this, and you can see there are so many methods in list. Like append, that is to add an element, clear, it clears all the elements of the list, copy, it makes a copy of the list, count, tells the number of elements in the list. Extend means to add to list. Index tells the index of an element. Insert, we can insert any element using the index. Then pop is to remove an element given an index, and remove when we give that particular index. Like in pop, we can say to pop 0th index, and remove we will say to remove the 10. The index can be any and the element is 10. So we are giving the element to be removed. Here we are giving the index. Then reverses the list, and then sorts the list in ascending or descending order as we want to. So there are so many methods of the list. Let's start one by one. Like if we write append, and inside the parentheses we will write the element that it should be added to the list. So append here in this case means to add something to the list. So here we can write 40, and then we'll print this list. Let us run this. You can see 40 is added in the list. Now if we want to insert an element to a particular place, like 40 is added at the last. So append adds the element at the last of the list. If we want to insert it here or maybe here, then what we can do is first we'll write the name of the list, then we will use insert method. And inside this we'll give the index, like you can see here, supports index comma object. So here we'll type the index in which it is should be added, and then with comma we can write like 15. 15 is the element that should be added. If we run this, I haven't printed this list, so let us print this. Now if we run this, you can see 15 is added, and it's the first index because we have written here first. If we see some more, like to remove, so we'll write numbers, that is the name of the list, dot, we'll use remove. And inside this, you can see we have to give a value. So it removes the first occurrence of value. Like if our list would be 10, comma 20, comma 30 like this, and we say to remove 20, then it will remove this 20, the first occurrence. Let us print the list. We can just comment this, and here we can print the list. So you can see we got 10, 20, and 30. The element 20 is removed. Instead of this remove, if we use other method like let us say pop. So inside pop, you can see you have to give the index. So let us say 1, and now if we print this, you can see the first index was of 20, so 20 got removed. If we say it removes the 0th element, and then if we run this, you can see 10 is removed. If we do not give any element in this, and then we see last element is removed. So by default, the pop removes the last element if the index is not mentioned. List allow duplicates value as we have seen here. So 20, 20. So it allows these duplicate values to be there. Let us make another list. Let us comment this. Mm, Let us name it mixed. And inside this, we can write maybe 1, which is integer, and then a string, which is hello, and then maybe 3.5, which is a float value, and a boolean value, true. So you can see we have made a list with different data types. Let us print this by writing print and parenthesis the name of the list that is mixed. So you can see we got this list printed. So list can contain different data types together. So lists are commonly used when data needs to be updated frequently. So let us reverse this list. So for that, what will write? Or we can even reverse this also. So let us reverse mixed list. So mixed dot, and we'll write reverse like this. Then we'll just print this list. So you can see the list got reversed. Similarly, we can sort or apply the different methods of the list. Now let's print each element of the list. Like here, the whole list is printed. But if you want to just iterate over any element and print, then what we have to do, let us say numbers, this list only, and we'll write using the for loop. So for I in. So for I in, and now we will write the name of the list, which is numbers. So this means for I in numbers means for every element of number. Like I will be 10 first, then it will be 20, then again 20, and then 30. And we will say it to print I. Let us run this. You can see we got all the elements of the list. Now let us see a question which is to given a list of numbers, print only the even numbers. Okay, and we can even use the hint. Use A for loop to iterate through the list and use modulo operator with if condition to check even numbers. So basically, we have a list of numbers and we have to print only the even numbers given in the list. So first of all, we can make a list. Let us comment this. So here we're making a list. Let us name it my list. And in this, let us write 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 4, like this. Now we have to see which number in the list is even and which is odd. And we have to print only the even numbers. So like we have iterated here for every element of the list, we have to do the same thing. So for I in my list, so we'll check every element if it is even or false. Oh, sorry, if it's odd or even. And we already saw that for checking if it's even or not, we have to check the remainder when it's divided by 2. If the remainder is 0, then it is an even number. So for that, we'll write I modulo 2. If it's equal to 0, then uh, it will be in if condition because we're checking if it's 0 or not. So if this is 0, I should be printed because we want to print only the even numbers. So we can see I is printed. Now, one twist in this question, if we want these numbers to be printed in a list, then what we can do is we can make a new list here. So a new list, and this is an empty list. We have to define this variable because this new list we will be using inside this loop. So we have to define it outside so that we can print it later. What we'll do is instead of writing this print I, we will use new list dot append I. And I already told you append means to add the element to the list. As you can even read here, append object to the end of the list. And what we are doing here is we are saying all the elements of the list, my list one by one. Then we are checking if it's even, then that element will be added to the new list that we have made. And at the last, after the completion of this, when the new list will be created, we have to print it. So we're printing this new list here and not inside the for loop, otherwise it will give us the wrong result. So let us run this. You can see these is printed in the form of a list. So let us see the next question, which is to create a list of student names and check if a given name exists in the list. Okay, so basically what we have to do here is we have to create one list of names list, and then we have to check its membership. So let us say name is the name of a list, And inside this, we can write some name like Alice, Bob, Charlie. Like this, we have written three names here. You can write as many as we want. Now we have to enter a name from the user. So it's better we name this list as name list. And the input by the user, that is of a name, we can name it name. So name is equal to, it will be taken as a string by default, so we do not have to change its data type. It will be input, and inside this we can enter the prompt, enter the name. And then we have to see whether this name is present in this list. So for that, we have to iterate over through this list and check if this name is equal to any element of the list. So for X in name list, if X is equal to name. So X is also a string, as you can see here, and name is also taken input as a string. So both of the data types are same, as you can see here. It's a string, and this one is also string. So if both of them are same, then we have to print it's in the list. But if it's not there, then it's better to always write the else condition, otherwise nothing will be printed. So else, it will come to else when this condition will not be true, that is, this condition will be false if the name will not be there, so it's not in the list. If we run this, it's saying to enter the name, so let's say Alice. And you can see here what happened is it checked with all of the elements one by one. So with Alice, it checked like this, so it's in the list. Then with Bob, it's not in the list. In Charlie, it's not in the list. So there are two methods to do this. First one is a bit. First one is that here, after writing print, we can use break, as we have read break and continue. If we run this and we check Alice, then you can see we got the right result. But let us check some other name if it's right or not. So you can see with Bob, it said it's not in the list, it's in the list like this. So we have to write break again after this. And if we run this, write Alice, it's in the list. If we write Bob, it's not in the list. Bob is not there because this is small b and this is capital B. If we write Bob like this, so it says it's not in the list. And we have to check why it says so. So if you say here for X in name list, if X is equal to name, then it's in the list break, else it's not in the list break. So what happened is when X is Alice, Alice checked with this and this condition is false. It went to else and then it said print it's not in the list. So it's not in the list is printed and it did not even check Bob whether it's there or not. So what we can do is we can make a variable here named as flag, or you can even make it found or any random variable, and we can give it a value true. Now we'll say this flag is true. Here we're using a boolean value, and after this print and before this break, we'll set the value to be false. Once we complete the program, you will understand it better. Why are we doing so? And then instead of writing this else, we'll just comment this. And here we'll put the condition if flag. Then we have to print it's not in the list. So what we did is, first let us read this, yeah. So what we did is that we set a random variable which is true, which has a value true, in the beginning of the program. If the element will be in the list, then the value will be false and it will break. So only it's in the list will be printed, right? But if the element is not in the list, then flag will always be true. It will never go to these conditions and so it will never be false. So at the last of the program will print that it's not in the list. If flag means if flag is same as if we write if flag is equal to true. So this statement if flag and this if flag is equal to true, both have the same meaning, both means the same. Let us run this and see. So first we'll say Alice, so it's showing the correct result. If we check with Bob, then it's again showing the correct result. Let's check with Charlie. Yeah, it's correct. And now let us give some other name like Daniel. Then it's not in the list. So now it's showing the correct result. So with this particular question, we have learned a lot. First, we have learned how to see our mistakes and how to think about it, rectify the problem, and make a good solution of that problem. We also learned about how to use the Boolean values and for if-else conditions. And of course, we have learned about the list. Also, we have learned about the taking the input. But now this code has a better way also. So the better way to solve this is first let us read the question again. It was to create a list of students' name and check if a given name exists in the list. Okay, so we just have to check the name that if it exists in the list or not. So this is a list. So let us uncomment this. Here we will be writing if we have to also take the input here. So this is a list and we have taken the input of the name. We'll write if name in nameless. That is if name. Like if we input Alice. If Alice is there in nameless, then we will print it's in the list. And another condition of it, if name is not there in the list, then we'll say it's not in list. Let us run this. And if we say Alice, then it has shown the correct result. If we say Bob, then again it's correct. Let us say Daniel, then it's not in the list. So all the results are correct. And what we have done is we directly check if this variable or this string, I should say, if the value of this variable, which is a string, is there in our list, then it will directly print it's in the list, otherwise it's not in the list. So let's move further. The next data structure we'll be talking about are tuples. So tuples are similar to lists but are immutable. Immutable means we cannot add a new element, remove an element, modify an existing element. So let us create a tuple like data, and here we'll use the round brackets 1 comma 2 comma 3 like this. So they are written using the round brackets, and once created tuple values cannot be changed. They're ordered and allow duplicate values. Like if we say here this 2 comma 2 and we print this. So here data is basically the name of a tuple. We can also name it my tuple or something like that. And here we are printing the data. So let us run this. You can see it allows duplicate value. Now I also said that they're ordered. So for seeing that, we can print the 0th element of the list like this. If we run this, you can see we got 1. 1 is the 0th element because like list, here the index starts from 0, 0, 1, 2, and 3 like this. Now, if we also want to see duplicate values in another way, what we can do is we can make a tuple. Now, let us name it my tuple. And in round brackets, we have to write maybe 1 comma 2, and then we can print my tuple this multiplied by 3. Let us print this and see the results. So you can see we got 1 2 1 2 1 2 like this. So tuple allows duplicate values. They are faster than list and use less memory. Tuples are used when data should remain fixed, like in coordinates or days of the weeks. The days of the weeks are fixed. They are not changed, so we can use tuple in those type of data. So let's see unpacking. Unpacking means to print each element of the tuple. So if we say it a comma b is equal to my tuple, so we're assigning the values to a and b using this tuple. And next thing, first we can comment this. Here we will be saying to print a and then print b. So first we have assigned the values to a and b and then we set to print them. Let us run this and you can see we got 1 and 2. So a got the value 1, b got 2. And like that, if it would be 1 2 3 and if we say a comma b comma c, then c would have got the value 3. So although we cannot change the tuple, we can combine or concatenate tuples to get a new tuple. So concatenate basically means to join or add. So if we say T1 is 1 comma 2 and then T2 is 3 comma 4, if we say it like this, and we say T3 is T1 plus T2, which is what concatenating. So we are concatenating this, that is we are joining two tuples, tuple 1 and tuple 2, and tuple 3 is the name of the new tuple that we will create. So we will print this tuple 3 here and let us run this. You can see we got 1 2 3 and 4. So these both the tuple 1 2 and 3 4 they got added and we got a new tuple here, tuple 3. Now let us see a question. So the question is to create a tuple with 4 cities. Print the first and last city, try to change one value and observe what happens. Okay, so first let us comment this. And we want to create a tuple of 4 cities. So let us name it cities. Cities is equal to New York. Then we can say Paris, London, on last one, Tokyo. Like this, we have created a tuple of 4 cities. Now we want to print the first and last city. So to create the first one, we have to write here print, then the name of the tuple, that is cities, and inside this in square bracket as we did in list, we have to define the index, which is 0. We also have to print the last city. So for last city, we can use the negative indexing. What is negative indexing? It means that like from forward we use 0, then 1, then 2, then 3 like this. So from back, what we'll do is we can say this is -1, this is -2, -3, -4 like this. So for the last one, we'll write -1 because the last element index is -1. Or if you want to give it from starting, it will be 3. But in the case like there's a long tuple and we don't know the length of the tuple or we don't want to calculate, we can simply write it -1. So let us run this and you can see we got the first and the last city printed. It also said to try change one value and observe what happens. Okay, so let us change one value. Let us say name of the tuple and one, that is the first city with the first index. Let us say it should be Berlin. Then if you run this, You can see it said tuple object does not support item assignment. So it's basically an error because tuples are immutable. We cannot change the value of an element of the tuple. So next we'll talk about sets. Sets store unique values only. They're written using curly braces. Like if we say my set is equal to and in curly braces 1 comma 2 comma 3 like this. To say whether they take duplicate values or not, we can print this my set. So if we print this, you can see we got 1, 2, and 3. Although we defined it 1, 2, 3, 2. Like if we add more 2's here, then if we run this, you can see again we got 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, and 3 only. So it does not allow duplicate values. And you can see we have written it using the curly braces. And to define an empty set, what we have to do is we can say like data, data is the name of a list, is equal to set like this. So this defines an empty set. So they're useful for removing duplicates and they're unordered, so indexing is not possible. Sets are mutable, but elements must be immutable. So what does that mean is like set can have a tuple as element, but not a list, dictionary, or even a set itself. If we say S is in a dictionary, I'm sorry, in a set within curly braces, we make a list. So list is made by square brackets, and inside this, we write here 1 comma 2. So you can see curly braces is for set and then square bracket is for list. Then we'll put a comma and the second element will be 3, let's say. Then if we run this, I haven't printed this. Anyway, it says type error unhashable type list. So list is mutable and the unset only takes elements which are immutable. That's the reason that this is not allowed. But remember, sets are mutable. The elements are immutable. So that's the difference. So set supports mathematical operation like union intersection. So if we make set 1, like 1 comma 2 comma 3, and we make set 2 as 3 comma 4 comma 5 like this, and we say set 3 be the union of both. So set T is equal to S1 dot union S2, and we will print S3 here. Let us comment this. So you can see by union, we got the sum of both. We concatenated both the list and both the sets, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So duplicate value, which was 3, got removed, and rest of the elements are added. A short way is instead of writing this like this, we can directly print it. So instead of assigning a new name to the union of both the sets, we directly printed that. If we see, we got the same result here. Instead of union, if we want the intersection, can write intersection and you can see 3 is a common element in both. Now, if you want to see the difference, you can see we got 1 comma 2. So set has many methods. You can see here difference update and like this symmetric difference is also there. And we already saw union, then update is there, intersection update and so on. Can see all the methods, but these two are very important, union and intersection, and also one more which is difference. So difference we already saw that 3 got removed, like we have written S1 dot difference S2. So the elements written in S2 should not be there in S1 when printing. So 1 comma 2 is removed. If if it would be S2 and here it would be S1, then the answer should be 4, 5. So we can see here like this. So let's practice one question on sets. It is to write a Python program to remove duplicate elements from a list using a set. Okay, so basically we have a list and it has some duplicate elements and we have to use a set to remove the duplicate elements from a list. Okay, so let us make one list. List is equal to, and here we can say 1, 2, 3, like this. This is a list with duplicate elements like 2, twice, and 3. We can even give like 4 times. We have given 3. Now we have to convert it into a set first. So to convert it into a set, we can maybe make a new set. So my set is equal to set, and in bracket we'll write list. So basically this converts a list into a set. Let us print this set. So you can see we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is the unique element. But it was written here to remove duplicate elements from a list. So like you can see here, it's set to convert list to set and then back to list. So we want it in the form of a list. So what we can do here is we can say my list is equal to list my set, and then we will print my list. So we converted this set again to a list, and as you can see here it's showing some error. So it's basically because we have given here list. So let us say this is list 1. If we run this now, you can see we again got error. This is type object is not iterable. Okay, so this should be list 1. You can see the line number is also given here, line 226, and here we have this line 226. So we can easily identify an error. Now let us run this, and you can see we got the correct one. If you want to shorten this, first let us comment. And the shortened way of writing this is print. Inside this, first we have to convert this list into set. So set list 1 will be written. Now this set is should be converted back to a list. So list like this. So if we run this, you can see we got the correct answer in one time only. So let us now move to dictionaries. A dictionary stores data in key value pairs. It is written using curly braces with a colon. So let us see this. If the name of a dictionary is student and we have to put curly braces here, then inside this we can put double quotes to name a key. So let us say name, and then we'll put colon and we write the value of this John. So basically this is a key and this is a value. This together makes a key value pair, and this is a dictionary. Now let us add more key value pairs here. So I'll put a comma, and we can even make it in one line or we can make it in different line. Let us make in both the ways. So first we will make it in one line. So the second key is age and its value is integer 21. So we haven't put it in string. Then let us say course, and this course is Python like this. So this is our dictionary. We can also write it like this. So this is another method of writing a dictionary, and we can print this print student. Now we'll run this, and you can see we got this dictionary. So this is one key value pair, this is another, and third one is this. They're separated by commas, and inside this we have colon between a key and a value. Altogether, closed in curly brackets is a dictionary. Now each key must be unique, and for this we can make another list. So first curly braces, then we can write A with value 1, then we can maybe write B with value 2, and then we can again write A with value 3. If we print this, let us see, you can see it showed A3B2. That is, A was assigned 3 letters, so letter value is taken here A3B2. We cannot have duplicate keys here. A is duplicate and so it took only one. That is the letter one. Here values can be of any data type as you already saw here. It is a string. This one is an integer. This is again a string. We can even give it a boolean value or a float value. They are unordered, but they are very fast. And we can even change it so they are mutable. Like if we say we want to change the age of this student John. So first we'll write the name of a dictionary, which is student, and then we'll in square brackets we'll give which key. So you can see here age, course, and name. It's asking what to change, so we can write 8 and then equal to 19. That means that age, that is the key in the dictionary student will should be equal to 19. So this will replace this and have to print student. So let us run this, and you can see here the age is changed to 19. We can even add a key value pair. So for adding, for example, email, you can write student and then in square brackets we'll write email, that is the key, and here we'll write the value. So let us say john@gmail.com, and this should be closed in double quotes because it is a string. So if we run this, we haven't printed the dictionary. So let us print our student again. Let us run this, and you can see this key value pair email and the value of the email got added in our dictionary. So we can access all the key value pairs, like we are printing here dictionary altogether. You can even print it one by one. For that, let us just comment this and let us write here for key comma value in student. Student is the name of a dictionary dot items. So we have to use here items. If you see here when we wrote student dot, we got so many methods of dictionary. So clear is to clear all the elements, copy is to make a copy of that dictionary, from keys we'll be learning, then get is to get the value of a key, and like this you can see so many methods are there. So we have to iterate here through the key value pair. So we'll write items. Here the method we are using is items. So for every key value pair, key will get a value in this variable key, and same for the value. That value will be stored in this variable named as value. So here we'll put a colon because this is a for loop, and then we will print key comma value. Let us run this. You can see name John, age 21, course Python. This is printed in this way. If you want to delete a key from a dictionary, what we can do is we can simply write del and then the name of the dictionary, which is student, then in double quotes, which is within the square brackets, we can give the key. age, course, or name, whatever we want. So let us say age, and we even have to print this. So let us print this. So you can see age, this has been removed from here. So this is how we remove a key value pair from the dictionary. Now let us see some questions. So the question is to create a dictionary for students with marks and print names of students who scored above 80. Okay, so we have to create a dictionary of students with marks. First, let us make this. So here we'll say marks, name of a dictionary. Then in the dictionary we'll be writing the name of the student, let us say Palak, and the score is 92. Then let us say Daniel, and the score here is 50. And then mm, we haven't put a comma here, and comma should be there after every key value pair, and that's why it was showing like this error curly lines. And in the third one we can give it like Priyanshi, and here also we have a put comma, and the marks can be 80. So we had to see the marks and print names of students who scored above 80. So that means we need to see all the students having marks greater than 80. So for that we have to iterate through this dictionary. We will write for name comma marks. It is similar to what we have written here, key comma value. So this variable is this key, and this value is just a variable. We can name it anything. So when naming name and marks here, because here we have the name and here we have the marks. So for name comma marks in marks dot items, and a colon here. We have to check if marks is greater than 80 or not. So we'll write here if marks is greater than 80. Then only it will go here. So if marks will be greater than 80, we have to print the name of that student or students, whatever. So if we run this, you can see we got Palak because she got more than 80, and of the other child got more than 80. If we say this student got 100, and then if we run this, you can see we got both the names Palak and Priyanshi. Alright, so now let us see the next question. So this is to remove duplicates from a list using dictionary. So first we learned how to remove duplicates from a list using set. Now we have a list again with duplicates, and we have to remove the duplicates using the dictionary. So let us make a list like we did before. And here we have to convert this list into a dictionary. So for that, first we will make like my dict, which is the name of a dictionary, and we will use from keys. So dict dot from keys and the name of the list, which is my list. So this dictionary, and thus we have used this method from keys. So you can see it says that it's created new dictionary with keys from iterable and values set to values. So you know that dictionary always have unique keys. And so if we set these elements as keys, it will take only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. It will not take 2 twice, it will take just one time because it takes only unique keys. And from keys, like we can see here, values is set as none. Let us see here. We have defined my dictionary. We will print this my dictionary, and then we'll also convert this my dictionary back to a list. So let us say new list is equal to list my dictionary, and then we will print this new list. Let us run this, and you can see we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and notice the value is none because there's no value given by us here. And then when we convert it back to dictionary, sorry, list, then you can see we got the unique elements. So this is how we can remove duplicates using a dictionary. So next thing we'll talk about strings, and you must have already seen above we are using the strings data type again and again, like here we have written in double quotes, and above also we had this key in double quotes like this. So let us say text, which is a variable, is Python programming. So we'll talk about the methods of this string. So we can say text dot, and here you can see there's so many methods. So like split is there, then swap case is there, upper, then we also have a lower one, then it's replace, then join, like this. So first let us use lower. So if we say text dot lower, and then we have to put parentheses and we have to print this. So instead of making a new variable, we can directly print this like this. And we see that Python programming this is in lowercase, like P, both the P's are in lowercase. This dictionary is printed, so let us comment this. Yeah. So if we want this to be in uppercase, then we can simply write here text dot upper. Let's run and we can see that we got this Python programming in uppercase. Let us use the swap case. So print text dot swap case. Parenthesis will be there. You can see this is the result of the swap case, that the one in upper converted into lowercase and one in lowercase converted into uppercase. Now we can see the replace one. So print text dot replace, and inside this replace we have first the word that is should be replaced, like you can say Python, and next the word that is should be replaced with, like Java. So if you want to convert Python programming to Java programming, you can simply use this replace. You can see here you got Java programming. Now if you want to use the split method, just have to write here split. So split by default splits by space. Like you can see here, return a list of the substrings in the string using separate as the separatist string. So it basically splits by space. If we just comment this and now we run, you can see we got Python as a different one and programming as a different word because it had a space in between. Like if we put a comma here, here we say to split by comma. Let us see if this works. So you can see again it got splitted. But if there is no comma in between, it's just a space and we're saying it to split by comma, run. So you can see there's no comma and so nothing is splitted, and this is considered as only one element of the list. Now let us talk about reversing the string. So for this, what we can do here is we'll say print text, that is the name of a string, and in square brackets we'll define the range. So we'll say from the beginning to the end. We'll not define what will be the starting or end, we'll just say from the very beginning to the very end. So for that, we'll write colon, that is from the beginning to the end, and with a difference of -1 because we want to reverse it, we want to write it from G to P. So with a difference of -1 like this. This is similar to the way like if the length of something is like if we say Python only, it is 6. So if the length is 6, and if you want to reverse it, what we'll write is text, and in square brackets we'll write length is 6, so from 0 to the last element, which is 6. Last element is fifth, but that is not considered, so 6. reference of -1. So like this will not say the starting or the end. It will itself by default take like that. So let us run and you can see we got it in reverse. Let us comment this. Let's move to this question. This is to write a program to check if a given word is a palindrome. So what is a palindrome? So like race car is one of the example. Race car is written like this or written in verse. Both means the same, or we can say even madam. This is a palindrome. But if we talk about Python, this is not a palindrome because if we reverse it, it will not be equal to itself. So for making a palindrome checker, first let us say we have a variable word. Then let us give it race car. We can even input this word, but now we have just defined. And we have to check if it equal to its reverse. So for that, we'll have a condition. So we'll put if word is equal to, and we already read here how to reverse. So word and then in bracket two colon, then -1 like this. Then we have a colon here, word, and here it will be 2 equal to because we're checking, we're not assigning a value to word, we are checking the equality between both of them, and we have to print palindrome. So let us run this. You can see it said palindrome. If it's race car like this, you can see we did not get anything because it's not a palindrome and we haven't defined it, anything that is to be written when it's not a palindrome. Now let's talk about one of the most important concepts in programming, functions. So what are functions? So a function is a block of reusable code that performs a specific task. Instead of writing the same code again and again, we put it inside a function and use it whenever needed. In Python, we define a function using the def keyword. So def means def. Using this, we'll define a function. So let's start with a very simple function, greet. So we'll write def as I already told, then greet, and then parentheses. After that, I will put a column. So greet is basically the name of a function that we have defined. This is a user-defined function. Now inside this, we'll write print and in parentheses inside the double quotes, we will write whatever is to be printed. So like hello world, we can say. And after this function does not take any input and does not return anything. So we have to call this by its name. So greet is its name and then parentheses. Like this, we have to call this function. So whenever we call this function, the thing written inside this, that is print hello world, this is to be executed. So you can see hello world is printed. Now let us see how to work with functions with different values. So if we write here name and we say to print hello and name. So that name, this is the parameter and we want to give an argument here. Argument is the value of this parameter name. So if we write here Bob, then this is the argument and this is the value of this parameter. And here we are giving the function the value of the parameter that is Bob. So it has to print hello Bob. Let's save this and print. So I mean run. So you can see we got hello Bob. So we can write other name as well like greet and we write here Alice. Say to run. You can see both of them are printed. So both Bob and Alice are the arguments and name is the parameter here. Now, a function can also return a result using the return keyword. Like if we make a function of add. Inside this, we have to give the parameters that is a and b because we want two numbers to be added. Then we'll say it to return a plus b. That is the value of sum of a and b is to be written. Now let's write result. So the result is a variable. Here we are calling the function. So for calling, we will write the name of the function, and inside this, we will give the value of a and b. So we will write 5 comma 3. So result is equal to add 5 comma 3. That is, the variable result will have the value returned by this function add, which is a plus b, which is 5 plus 3, 8. Then we will print the result. Let's run this, and you can see 8 is printed. So the return statement sends the value back to the function where the function is called. Okay, so next thing is variable scope. So to understand variable scope, let us take two examples. First one is, let us say a variable x has a value 10, and then we will make a function show which will print the value of x. So def show like this, and parenthesis, we'll put a column, and with a gap of 4 spaces here, we'll write we'll assign a new value to x. So x is 5, let us say, and then we'll ask this function to print x. Now in the next line, what we'll do is we'll call this function show. So like this show. So by writing like this, like we have done above, greet here, or maybe like when we did not give the parameter, we'll just wrote greet and parenthesis. In the similar way, we're calling the function show. And at the last, we'll say to print x again. So let us print this and then understand result. So when we called show, what happened is it went here, then it said x is 5, okay, and then it said to print x, so x is printed. Now this is over. Now we come to this line, print x. Print x, and x for this, for right now it's 10, so 10 is printed. You might think why x is 5, we have signed it later, so this print x should give the value 5 instead of this 10. But it's not, because this x is equals to 5 is written inside this function def. So it's written inside this. So what this x does is it assumes this x to be there, and that's why 10 is printed. To make it clear, but we can make it global. If we make it global x, now if you see the result, 5 is printed. What this global x means that this x, global x, means that this x is same as this x, or this x wherever written will be the same, like when we had not written this global, we had written here x is equals to 5, then it did not override this value. But when we write here global x, then it overrides the value of the x already mentioned above. So 5 and 5 is the result. So now let us see one question. The question is to create a function that takes a number as input and returns the square of that number. Okay, so we have to create a function first. So let us say the square is the name of a function square. Inside this, we want num, that is our parameter, and with a colon sign. And here, gap of 4 spaces. Inside this, we'll say it to return the value. And what value? So the question says to return the square of that number. So we'll return num into num. That is the square of number, or we can write num to the power 2 with 2 stars, or we can simply write like this also. Now the next thing is we'll call this. So we can say result is equal to square. That is a function, and we'll give the value 4 to the number, and then we'll say it to print result. Now let us run this. You can see 16 is printed because it's 4 into 4. That's the basics of functions in Python. Next, we will move to more advanced concepts like recursion. Okay, so let's continue with recursion. Recursion is a programming technique where a function calls itself to solve a problem by breaking it into smaller subproblems, and it stops when a base condition is reached. So basically, uh, what are the benefits of this recursion? So it makes code shorter and cleaner for complex problems. Then it helps solve problems that can be divided into smaller parts. It's also easy to use for tree, graph, and divide and conquer problems. It improves readability and logic clarity, and it is useful in problems like factorial, Fibonacci, and searching algorithms. So we'll see a few of the problems to understand this better now. And the first one is to print numbers. So we want to print the numbers. We'll take the input of n from the user, or rather here we can just assign the value to the n directly. That's our choice, and then we'll print all the numbers till that number. So for that we have to make a function def, and we'll write here print numbers or print num. That is our wish, whatever the name we want to give. Then inside this we'll take the parameter n column, and the next thing is we have to define a base condition where that function has to stop, because the recursive function is when we'll call the same function again and again. So base condition. So base condition, if we think, will be when first what we'll do is we'll print n. Let's say for before writing the base condition, let us just understand. First we'll print n. And what is n here? So we'll call this function here, and we'll say like 5 is the value. So I'll call this function given n as a value 5. So here 5 will be printed. Now we want to do, we have to print all the numbers till 0 from 5 or till 1. So if we want to print from 5 to 1, then we have printed here 5. Then we have to print n minus 1 here. If n minus 1 is to be printed, then this function def print number should be called again, and this n should be n minus 1 now. If we want to make it n minus 1, what we can do is we can simply call it again inside the function itself. So here print num, and inside this we can simply write n minus 1. So by this we have done that n will be replaced by n minus 1. You can assume it like that. But if you do it like this, print 5, then here n equals to 5. Let us write n is equal to 5. Here what will be printed? 5 will be printed. Then what happens here is it calls print num and n minus 1, which is 4. So it goes to here again. Now n is 4. Now what happens? 4 is printed. Now 4 minus 1 is 3. Then 3 is printed, and so on like that. What happens is 3 is printed, then 2, then 1, then 0, then minus 1, minus 2, and so on. It goes to minus infinity like this. And that's the problem that it will face. So we want a base condition. Base condition is basically a condition where this has to be stopped. So if we want the numbers from 5 to 1, we want that it stops at 0. So here we'll put that, sorry. So yeah, here we'll put the condition if that n is 0. That is, if this value becomes 0, then this n should not be printed. So we'll just write here return. That is, it will return whatever value it has stored, or like this. We want that when it's 0, it shouldn't return anything. So we'll just have to write here return. Let us run this. And you can say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all are printed. If you did not understand it properly, don't worry. We'll discuss more examples. So let us take the example of factorial. So for factorial, first we'll name the function fact, then n is the parameter and colon. Then we'll say how will factorial work. So if we say that we have to take out the factorial of 5. So 5 factorial will be 5, that is n. Then we'll multiply it to n minus 1. Then we'll multiply it to n minus 1 minus 1. And so on like this. So we are just subtracting 1 and then multiplying. We're subtracting 1 and then multiplying. And we have to stop when it's 1. Or we can even say 0. So it's our choice. We can say we have to stop and when it's 1. Okay. So what we have to do here is we have to say that this function should return the value what? So 5 factorial, if you see 1 by 1, it's 5 into 4 first. So here we'll be writing n into factorial n minus 1. Because you can see here, this is 5 into 4 factorial. So 5 factorial is 5 into 4 factorial. Then this is 5 into 4 into 3 factorial. And so on like this. And at last it's 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So basically we have written n into factorial minus 1, which is 5 into factorial 4. And as I said, a base condition is necessary in recursive function. So here we'll be writing a base condition, which is when n is 1, it will return 1. So when n is 1, it has to return 1. So what happens is this, first let us call the function, so fact 5, and we have to print this function. So here we are printing the factorial of 5. N is 5 here. Then n is not 1, so it comes to here and it says that return 5 into fact of 4 like this. So it goes here again and here it becomes 4. Using the stack, it just stores this value and fact 4 value is to be calculated by this. So when it's n is 4, then n is not 1 again, so it comes to here. Then this will be equal to now 5 into 4 into factorial 3 like this. And it goes again and again. When n is 1, it returns 1. So basically, and it will be 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 like this. And don't worry what is a stack, because it is a data structure which is not yet taught to you to a beginner. So we'll just read about it later. So this is how a factorial function is working. Let us see the output. So 5 factorial is 120. Let us see 4. 4 factorial is 24. So we got 24 here. Let us comment this. And now the next thing is sum of numbers. So if you want to find the sum of numbers like till 4, it's 1 plus 2, which is 3, 3 plus 3, 6, and 6 plus 4 is 10. So for 4, it's 10, for 5, it's 15. So like this, we have to take the sum of numbers. So it's basically somewhat similar to factorial. We- In factorial, we were multiplying the numbers. In sum of numbers, you have to just sum the numbers. So def sum, n is the parameter column, then base condition will be if n is equal to 0. Then we have to return 0, and otherwise we have to return n plus sum of n minus 1. And we'll call this function, so print sum and let us say 4. So answer should be 10. Let us see, and yeah, it's 10. So it's basically that sum is n, and like n is 4 here. Then it returns 4 plus sum of 3. So then sum of 3 is calculated again this. Then sum of 2 is calculated using this function, then 1, and when it becomes 0, then it's just written 0 and it's sum all the numbers like that. So let us see a question. Write a recursive function to find the nth Fibonacci series number. So Fibonacci series are basically like first and the second term is 1. Then it's the sum of previous two terms, like 1 plus 1 is 2, so here it is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3, so here it's 3. 3 plus 2 is 5, so here it's 5. 5 plus 3 is 8, then 8 plus 5 is 13, and so on like this. So we have to create this Fibonacci series, like we have to return the nth Fibonacci number. Okay, so for that, first we'll make here Fibonacci as the name of a function, and here we'll take n as a parameter. Inside this, we will return the Fibonacci of n minus 1 plus the Fibonacci of n minus 2. What this means is we have to sum this, like 2 is the sum of 1 and 1. So if this is n2, then this one is n minus 1 and this one is n minus 2. So we have to sum both of the terms, and then this will be the sum of these two things. Now base condition is necessary as I already told, so it will be if n is less than equal to 1, then we'll just return n. Like if we got only 1 as the input of n, then it will just return 1. Now let us print Fibonacci, and here let us say 6. When we run this, we got 8, as you can see here. If we say it to be 8th number, then we got 21. So next thing we'll talk about is file handling. So file handling, uh, why do we use files in Python is the very first question. Files are used in Python to store data permanently. They allow programs to read data from and write data to external storage. Using files helps in saving program output for future use, and we can also use them when handling large amounts of data. And files also make it possible to share data between programs, and they're commonly used for logs, reports, and data processing. We have different file modes in Python, as you can see here: read, write, append, read or write. Despite of this, we have even other like append and read, A plus B binary, like this. So let us start by seeing the code. So very first one is the read mode. So what we will do is there are two methods basically. So first is if we write file, a variable name, and then we'll open it. So file equals to open, and inside this bracket, we will give the name of the file. So we should have the a folder in which the file is saved. So let us see this. We have a folder here, and its location is this. See, and then Infosmart, and we can take any of the file here if we open this. Yeah, this is note.txt. So we'll write here note.txt like this. And now with a comma and in double quotes, now we have to define here which mode is to be taken. You can see there's so many modes in which we can read the file. So here we are using R, that is read mode. You see R. Now we will put a call. Now no colon required here. We'll have to read the file. Okay, so file is equals to open this, and next thing will be to print this. So we'll say file.read. File is this. So this file has been opened. Now we'll just have to write read and parentheses so the file will be read, and we have written print. So that thing will be printed. If we run this, you can see this is printed. It's also important to close the file. So we'll write here file dot close like this. We can uh, do it one more so you can see it has been read. Now an alternate is we can just write with open. What is the benefit of with open? The benefit is that we do not have to close the file manually. It automatically closes the file. So you can see with open like this, we have written inside this is the address of the text file, and then we have opened in read mode. Then you write file. We can write here as file. So with open this file as file, we can write it as f, whatever we want. Then inside this, we can write file dot read like this. When we run this, you can see we got this output. Now let us see how to write. So if you want to write the file, first of all, let us just copy this, the very first line here, and we have to change R to W, that is read. Now let us change the name of this file. So let us say note1 is the name of the file which is not inside this folder actually. And the next line will be here we can say file dot write, and we can write something here like hello Python like this. Okay. And we haven't made this file yet. Please know that. So when we'll be running this, you can see we got a new file note1. So this file has been made itself. So in write mode, this is the advantage that if you do not have the file, this is written made by itself. Well, let us see this sample.txt. So this is one file, and let us change note1 to sample.txt. So this is the file which you already have it. Like you can see this content is written in it. And when we will run this and see this sample.txt, then you can see the text has been overwritten and hello Python is visible. The mango, lychee, banana, something was written before that is not visible. So it overwrites the existing file, or it make a new file if that file does not exist. So this is the write mode. Now the third one is append. So what append will do is it will just add the text to the already existing file. Like if we just copy the same thing, and here if we say A is to append. So we're opening this file in the append mode. This is the node file. So we can see this thing has been written here. And now we'll say it to write file dot write. And append also we have to mention here write, and append mode is mentioned here. Let me say hello. Running this and then opening the file name was note. So you can see hello is written, and the thing already written has not been removed or overwritten. So this is the advantage of append. Now let us see a question. Question is to write a program to write data into a file and then read it back. Okay, so if you want to write data into a file and then read it back, so we'll write here with open, and inside this we'll give this address in parentheses, and you have to let us say give read as the name of a file, and we have to write it in W mode. as, let us say, f this time. Okay. Then f dot write. This is my first file. Let us write this. This we have written in the file. Now we want to read this file. So we'll write with open, and inside this we'll give the address of the file and we'll open it in R. R means read mode. And we'll say SF, and here we'll say it to print whatever is written in the file. So f dot read like this. Let's run and see if this works. So we got one more file named as read, and you can see this is my first file. It's written here, and uh, but it's not printed here, right? It should be printed. So let us see what is the error here. So we are opening note, and that's why it was printed. Yeah, so this is the error. You have to write here read. So if you run this again, you can see in this read file we have hello python written, and sorry, in this read file this is my first file is written, and here also this is printed. Last time I had written the name of the wrong file, and that's why something else was printed. So let us move ahead. Now we will be saying what is object-oriented programming. Object-oriented programming is a programming approach where a program is organized around objects instead of functions. Objects represent real-world entities that contain data, that is, attributes and behavior, which are methods. To create objects, first of all, we have to define classes, as classes are the blueprints for objects. OOP helps in designing programs that are modular, reusable, and easy to manage. If this seems to be complicated to you as of now, don't worry about that. We will create few programs and then we will get better understanding. Let us jump to our first program using classes. So let us make class dog. For that, first have to write class and then the name of the class, so which is dog. Then we'll put a colon and we'll just press enter, and you can see it automatically gave a 4 space gap. So everything written inside that will be indented will be a part of this class dog. So now we will make the very first function inside the class. So we have already read that function is made using def, that is def. Now we'll initialize it using the initializer init. So we'll put double underscores, then init, like this. And inside this, we'll put the parameters. So self, name, age. These are the 3 parameters that we are creating. So basically, class dog is the blueprint which tells about the name of the dog, the age of the dog. So while initializing this, what we have to do is we have to write self.name is equal to name. Instead of using self, you can write here abc. Then here it will be abc.name is equal to name, like this. Alright, so the will be self.age is equal to age. Now we are defining the next function. Let's say bag. So for that, what we'll do is first we'll write def, and then we'll write the name of the function, that is bag. Inside this, we'll write self. And here, what we will be printing is, we'll write print, and we will print using the formatting string. So for that, if, then double quotes, and inside this, our variable is self.name. So we'll put curly braces, then we'll write here self dot name. So this is the variable name, so this is inside the curly braces, and then outside this we'll write says woof, we can say like this. So this is a bark function that we have made. Whenever we'll make a object of this class dog and call the bark function, it has to print the name of the dog and says woof. Okay, so let us make some other functions as well. For example, eat. So def eat, then self, and here we'll write print after double quotes like this, and inside this process we'll write self dot name is eating food like this. We can make another functions like def sleep in a similar fashion. Now let us call this function. So if you remember in functions we did that first we were making the function, then we were calling it. In a similar way here we have defined the functions inside this class dog, but we still need to call them. So first we have to make the object of the class dog. So what does that mean? This means that, for example, if we have a dog Bruno, so that Bruno information should be given to here. That name is Bruno and age is like say 2. So that information is to be given. So let's write here dog 1 is equal to, and then we'll write the name of a class which is dog. So just take care of the capital and the small letters, that is case, because Python is a case sensitive language. Inside the parentheses, we will give the values to these parameters which are called attributes. So name is Bruno and age is 2, like this. Now the next thing is we have to call the function. What is this? We have to make an object. Dog1 is an object of this class dog with values of name as Bruno and age as 2. Now we have to call the function. So for calling, we will write dog1. You can see dog this is small. So this is also in lowercase dog1 dot. And dog one dot dog, like if we say we have to call this function bark, then we'll write bark and then parentheses. Let us run this much and see the output. So we can see it's Bruno says woof. Okay, now let us go make another object. So here let us make dog, maybe Tom, and so 1 year age. Then we can call it for barking and as well as um, eat. So dog2 dot bark, dog2 dot eat. If we run this, you can see we can it's written Tom says woof, Tom is eating food. We can even call dog1 dot eat, and this way we will get Bruno is eating food. You can see it here. We can add more functions here as per our convenience, and we can call that function also, and we can even make more objects out of this class stock. So basically this class is a blueprint. We are making object and then we are calling the functions written inside the class using that object we made. Now let us see the benefits of OOPS. So it makes the code reusable using classes and object. It improves code organization and readability, helps in easy maintenance and debugging. It supports real-world modeling. It enhances security by controlling access to data, and it also makes large programs scalable and manageable. The next thing we'll see are the main pillars of OOPS. So first one is encapsulation. It's wrapping data and methods together in a single unit and protecting the data from direct access. In other words, we can say like a TV remote, the buttons of the TV remote works for us, but what exactly is the function written inside it to make them work? We don't know that, right? So that is encapsulation. The second one is abstraction. So it's showing only important details and hiding unnecessary implementation details. So we'll see that while using the OOPS main pillar, that this one, that is abstraction, and the program we are going to make. The next one is inheritance, a process where one class acquires properties and methods of another class. So basically, the child inherits the properties of the parent or maybe the grandparent. And the last but not the least is polymorphism. It's one function or method behaves differently in different situations. Like we can make one function different in different classes, and when we'll call them, it works according to class assigned. So we'll see them in code. So let us start making the code for it. So there's an example which will include all of the four: encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. So first, let us make a class shape, and let us keep this capital. And here inside this, we can write ABC. What's ABC? So that is to be imported. So we'll write here from ABC, import capital ABC, comma, abstract method. So this is basically abstraction. Basically, we are importing capital ABC and the small ABC that we already have. Okay, so here we are going to make a function area. So we have written def, then the name of the function, then we'll write self, and inside this we'll just write pass. So no information is given, we just have made this area function. Pass means that just this function is made, but nothing information has been written by us, or it is not defined by us what exactly the work it has to do. So to make it abstract method, here we need to write at the rate abstract method like this. So this is abstraction. Now the next thing is we can make another class rectangle, and we can inherit this rectangle from a shape class. So that is what inheritance is. So we'll write here shape. That means all the properties the shape has, like this area function there, this is inherited by the rectangle class. Similar to what happens in humans, that the child acquires the properties or the behaviors of the parents in a similar way is this. So inside this rectangle class, let us initialize this. So for that, we'll write def double score init, and parameters will be self, length, width. And inside this, we have to just write self dot length is equal to length, and then self dot width is equal to width. So basically, this double underscore makes this private, and private means that this cannot be directly accessed. We have to make some special functions for them to access. Like the user can't directly call this function and see the value of the length. We have to make some function like get, using what the user can access the length. This is basically done like in a account where some balance is to be added or subtracted, so that cannot be done by the user directly. So For such functions it is used. And this is what encapsulation is. It means that the information is hidden inside the class. So now let us make one more function which is area. So we'll make area and notice that this is also area and this is also area. We're making with the same name. So I just will write self like I've written, and the area is length into width. So we'll write this written self dot length multiplied by self dot width. Now next we can make one more class of circle. So circle is also a shape, so we can inherit that circle class. We can inherit the shape class in the circle class. So in this again we have to define this init method like we did here. So we'll write here def double score init double score, and the here parameters will be self and radius, and then inside this we'll write self dot radius is equal to radius like this. In a similar fashion we had written here, we are writing here also. Then we'll make another function which is area. So if you noticed it again, that area we are making the same function here. So this is polymorphism. Like when we call this area of rectangle, it would return it would return the value of length into it. And when we'll call the function area of the class circle, then it should return the area of the circle. So we'll write here like this. So polymorphism means that we are using the same function area for different shapes, like circle it's pi r square, and for rectangle it's length into width. Now so far we have made the classes shape, and we have rectangle and circle classes that we have inherited from the shape, and we have made one abstract method here, and we also saw this encapsulation and also the polymorphism. Now the next thing is to call and make objects, to call the function and make objects. So first we have to make the function. So for that, R is our name of the object, then rectangle is this class, and inside this we have to give the parameters 4 comma 5, which is the length and breadth. C is circle. Inside circle we have to give the radius of the circle, so let it be 3, and then we have to call the function. So we can say area of rectangle is, and we can put a comma here and we can write r dot area like this. Similarly, we'll write print, and here area of circle is, and here we'll write c dot area because this area is a function. So we made the object of this rectangle class, and then we called the area function, this one of the rectangle class, the similar way we did with circle. So let us run and see. So rectangle is 20, it's because 4 into 5 is 20, and for pi r square you can see this is the answer. So this is how we solve all the 4 pillars of oops in one example. Let us move ahead with exception handling. So exception handling is used to handle runtime errors in a program. It prevents the program from crashing suddenly. In Python, errors are handled using try and except blocks, as you're going to see. So first, we'll write try, and then inside try, we will write the program that we want to run. So let's say we have to take an input from the user, and then we have to divide 10 by that number. So we'll say x is, this time it should be integer, so int, then we have to take input, so we'll write input, and then inside parentheses and double quotes we'll write the prompt, so enter your number. Now the next thing we have to print is 10 divided by this number x, so we'll say print 10 divided by this x. But if you're careful, notice that x can be 0 by the user that who inputs this number, the value of x. So if x is 0, then it will give an error that it cannot be divisible by 0, so it will give error. It's not good to have error. That's why we use try and except. So the risky code we have written inside the try. Now we'll write except, then a colon, and in except we'll write that if an error occurs, the control moves to the except block. So we'll say to print an error occurred. And then the else block runs when no error occurs. So we'll just write print no error here. And the finally block, it always executes whether an error happens or not. So we'll write here code over like this. So exception handling makes programs safe, stable, and user friendly. You can see here if I type 0, then it says an error occurred. If I said 2, then it showed 5.0 and no error. So this is the risky code, and except is when an error occurred. If no error occurred, then it will just go here, then it will go here. And finally, block is always executed whether an error occurred or not. So let us write more examples. So we'll say try and let us import something. So num is equal to integer, and let us give a string here abc. So here num is a variable and we have converted this abc into an integer. So it will give error, so that will be a value error. So we'll write the name of that error here, except value error, and then we will print invalid value. Like we can just comment this and we can just run num is equal to int abc. If we run this, uh, we have to comment this as well. We just run this. So you can see it gave a value error, invalid relative for int with base 10 because it is an integer, and if we convert it into integer, it's a string. If we convert it into integer, it makes no sense. That's why it gave value error. So except value error means if it gave value error, it will not display it as an error. It will just print invalid value. And another thing can be except like some more errors we can write, like zero division error. So like if we are dividing it by 0, instead of giving error, it will write something. So it will print division by 0 like this. And final blocks always run as we already know. So finally, and here we can print this always run like this. So if we run this, you can see we got invalid value instead of a value error. Let us see one question, which is to write a Python program to handle an exception when accessing an invalid list index. Okay, so basically we have to make a list and then we have to handle if the user access an invalid list index. So let us say numbers is equal to 10, 20, 30. This is our list. And then inside try, we'll write the risk code, which is the index that is to be taken input by the user. So we'll take input it from the user. So we have to write integer input. Inside this, enter the index. And we have to print that in the list with index as index. So basically here index is input by the user, so it will be a number and that particular number is to be printed. What will be except? Except will be index error because if the like here 0, 1, 2 are the valid indexes, 3 is not a valid index, so it will give index error. So instead of that index error, we can simply print this index out of range. Let us run this and see. So let us say 2, so correct is printed, let us say 3. So it gave index out of range instead of given any other index error. So let us move on to advanced Python. In this, the first topic we are reading is list comprehension. So in list comprehension is a short and simple way to create list in Python using a single line of code. It is used when we want to generate a new list from an existing sequence. List comprehension is more readable and efficient than using loops. Like if we see here, like squares is the list, and inside this we have to write a program to square all the numbers in a given range. So for that, like we have to write it in the for loop. If if we do not use list comprehension, then what we do is for I in range, and then we'll give the range, for example, 1 to 6. Then we'll put a colon, and inside this we write program like we create a new list, right? So new list, an empty list we have to define, and here we had to write new list dot append and then I square like this. And after that we'll print new list here. So this is a 4 line of code here. So to compress it, we'll learn how to write in list comprehension. So this for loop for I in range 1, comma 6. This we have to write first. So that will be for I in range 1, comma 6 like this. Now we have to write what is to be done. So it will be I into I because we're squaring the numbers and we already made this square bracket. That means it is converted to a list. So it will automatically be added to a list. After that, we have to print squares. Here we can print a line. Now let us run this. You can see we got 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. That's the same answer in both of them. So it consists of an expression, a for loop, and an optional condition like you saw. This is a for loop and this is an exception. And we can also give a condition. Let us see another example for that. So if we want even numbers in a given range, then what we have to do is we can write even numbers as the name of a list, and then inside this, as we have written above, we'll use for loop. So for x in range, and range maybe till 10, 0 to 10, and we'll write here the condition. After the for loop, we have to write the condition. So condition will be if the remainder when the number is divided by 2 is 0, then. So for that, we'll write if x divisible by 2. And what will happen? We have to write in the starting x. That means x will be added in the list if it's even. Okay, then we have to print this. Let us run and see. So you can see 02468. And you can see that this list comprehension helped to reduce multiple lines of code into one. It makes Python code clean and professional. Let us see a question. Create a list comprehension that stores numbers greater than 10 from the list. Okay, so we have to make a list one first, and then we have to store numbers greater than 10. First, let us comment this and now let us see. So maybe a list is 5, 7, 12, 18, 19, whatever, 89, 3, 25 like this. And then we want the numbers that are greater than 10. So let us write result, which is the name of our new list. And here we'll write for x in nums, because nums is the name of this list. So for x in nums, it will check one by one every number, and we'll write the condition here if x is greater than 10. Then we have to add x, so here we'll write x. Then we will print result. Let's run this, and you can see you got 12, 19, 18, and 25. All the numbers greater than 10 are here. Let's move ahead to Lambda function. Lambda function is a small anonymous function in Python. It is called anonymous because it does not have a name. Lambda functions are used to write short one-line functions. As we can see here, square is equal to, and then this is a variable square. Then we have to write here lambda. So lambda is LMBDA, lambda. And then we'll write like if you want to square the number, then first we'll write the number, then colon, and then what we have to do with it, the expression. So x into x. That is, you have to square. Like we did here while reading the list comprehension. So we are squaring the every element or every number that is input into this square. So let us say print square, and then in parentheses you have to write the number. So let us say 5. So this means that 5 is x. So 5 and colon, it's 5 into 5, which is 25. So we'll get here 25. We say this is 15, then we should get here to 25, like see here. So they can take any number of arguments, but only one expression. Like if we say add is lambda a comma b comma c and a colon a plus b plus c. So here we have given three parameters, but there's only one expression a plus b plus c. Then we will print this add like 1 comma 2 comma 3. So it should be 6. You can see here 6 is printed. The result of the expression is automatically returned. Lambda functions are mostly useful for temporary operations. So let us try one more example. If we say pairs. Pairs is the name of the list, and that list contains tuples. So 1, 3 like this. Maybe this can be 2 comma 1, 4 comma 2, or 4 comma 3 like this. And then we want to sort the pairs. So we'll write pairs dot sort, and inside this we'll write key as equal to lambda x, where x with index 1 like this, and then we'll print pairs. So what have to return is that we have written use this lambda x where with index 1. Index 1 means this one index in every element, this. So this is the key, like this is taken care of and this is sorted. First let us see the output. So you can see 2 comma 1, 1 comma 3 and 4 comma 3. This is sorted using the very first index. These three are same, that's why it's like that. If we say this to be 6. Now if you run this, you can see 1, 3, 6 according to the first index. This is sorted in every tuple. If we want to write it in a bit more like that way, which we can understand easily, so what we can do is we can say T is equal to this one. We can write this separately, and then we'll say pairs dot sort, and then T is equal to key. So by this you can understand better this key is equals to T. So by this you can understand better that we have used lambda function here. This is of sort, and then at last we'll print this pairs. So let's run this and you can see we got the same output in both of them. They are commonly used with functions like map, filter, and reduce. Let me just write an example for that as well. If we make a random list like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 like this, and what we do is we make a function to decrease all the elements of this list by 1. For that, we'll write def to make a function. Then let's say decrease with dcr. Inside this will be the parameters, let's say x. And we have to return x minus 1. This means that whatever is like if we call dcr5, then 5 will be called x will be 5 and it will return 4 like this. Now next what we'll write is L1 is map dcr comma L. This means that map means to this is the function is applied to all the elements of list. And what function? DCR. So DCR function is applied to all the elements of L using this map. So that means first 6 will be there. 6 will be 6 will go here, x is equals to 6, then it will return 5. Then like this 7 will return 6, 8 will return 7, 9 will return 8 like this, and all of them are added to this list L1. So now let us make L2. So what is L2? L2, let us make that if the number if the element of L1 is divisible by 5, we have to filter them those, and then we have to create another list which is L2, and then we have to print that L2. So we'll write lambda function here, lambda x, where we'll see if x modulo 5 has 0 remainder. So when x divided by 5 has a 0 remainder, we have written using lambda, then we want this function to work for all the elements of L1, and we have to filter out those. So what we'll write here, filter, and inside this we'll write L1, which is the name of the list. This list, the elements of this list should be filtered out, that's why. And then we have to make L2 a list, so at last we'll write list, and then we will print L1. So what we did is first we checked x its remainder with when divided by 5, If it's 0, that is if it's divisible by 5, all the elements of L1 one by one will be checked. If it's divisible, then it will be filtered out and then it will be created or converted into a list. And then list will be L2. Oh, here it should be 2. So we have to print L2. So you can see 5 comma 10 is printed. Now let us see a question. So create a lambda function that takes two numbers as input and returns the larger number. Then use it to compare 10 and 25. Okay. So we have to create a lambda function and we have to see whether two numbers out of two numbers which one is greater. So for that we can say like maximum number is the name for variable, then we'll have to write lambda. We'll give the parameters a comma v and a colon. Then we can write if a is greater than b. Then what should happen? A should be written, right? So we have to write a here. If uh, this condition is false, then we have one else also. So else b. So this basically means that if a is greater than b, then a will be returned. Otherwise, b will be returned like this. Then we have to print marks number, and inside this we have to give the parameters. So 10 comma 25. Let's run and you can see 25 is the answer. Let us try with 100 comma 25. You can see 100 is the answer. So we got the correct answer here. Congratulations, you have just completed a full Python beginner to advanced roadmap. Python becomes powerful only when you practice and build projects. So we can see more videos on my channel using this link given in the description. If you watched till the end, comment Python complete. Subscribe for more full-length coding tutorials. See you in the next video and happy coding.